Are you gonna film the video? Tell them about the book. What did you think of it? Was it good? It was scary? I'll tell them. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and for today's video I'm going to be doing a book talk, which is not a video I have done in a really long time. I think it's been over a year or around a year, just about a year. I've done two before. I've done one for A Curse So Dark and Lonely and Into the Drowning Deep. And a lot of you guys still go back and watch those videos and you comment saying, don't stop making these, and I did for a little while. There just wasn't anything that I really wanted to review, but today we've got something. Also, I apologize for the state of my bed. This little monster wouldn't let me make it anymore. She was laying on it while I was trying to make it, so this is the best we've got. My condolences. Ooh, apparently I'm hungry, so I gotta do this quick. So yeah, haven't done one in a really long time, kinda out of practice, but I'm really excited and I have a lot more confidence doing this now, so hopefully it goes well. I should probably introduce the book, even though you've already seen the thumbnail and the title, but the book I'm going to be doing a review for is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So this is one of my most recent reads and for sure my most recent 5-star read. This is probably going to end up on my favorites of the year list. I absolutely adored this book. I typically only review the books that I really loved just because I feel bad doing a rant review, but if you guys want a rant review, there are definitely books that I've hated in the past that I can revisit and do a book talk for, so let me know. I'm going to kind of give you a brief synopsis, try and talk a little bit in non-spoilers about why I liked this, and then go into spoilers talking about what I loved and all the different twists and just my experience reading it. So for the people that have read it, we can kind of talk about it there. If you are going to talk about this in the comments, number one, love that, amazing, yes, let's talk about it. I'm obsessed with this book and I can't talk about it enough. And two, just be sure to put spoilers and then space down so that nobody who hasn't read it but still wants to doesn't accidentally get spoiled by going through the comments. So let's just be courteous of that. Don't want to do that to people because that would be horrible, because this is such a fun book to experience for the first time, I think. Alright, so a brief synopsis of this book. This is a murder mystery thriller about a girl named Pippa, and she decides that for her senior project she is going to reopen and just kind of investigate this case that happened 5 years ago in her town at her school with these two seniors. One was named Andy Bell and the other one was named Sal Singh. So these two were a couple, and on one night Andy went missing and Sal was the primary suspect for like her capture. For a little bit people just thought that maybe she ran away, but then people were speculating that maybe she had died because she had been away for a few days. And she went missing on a Friday, and on that following Tuesday, Sal committed suicide. There are a lot of content warnings for this book, so definitely be sure to read reviews before you go ahead and do that. I always feel like I'm going to miss them, but I'll try and, like, you know, list a couple now. But like I said, just to be thorough, I would recommend reading reviews because I'm really bad at, like, picking up on what might trigger people. But definitely sexual assault, rape, drug use, death of a pet. So that following Tuesday, it is rumored, or not rumored, but it is decided that Sal, I say decided because that is how the case was ruled, but that Sal committed suicide. Pip, our main character, however, thinks differently. She doesn't think that Sal committed suicide, and she doesn't think that Sal was the one to kill Andy. So she is reopening this case, reinvestigating it, and just trying to figure out what really happened, because the police made a lot of jumps with a lot of speculative evidence, and she just doesn't believe in her heart that Sal would have done this to someone, especially someone that he was in a relationship with, because she knew Sal growing up and she just doesn't think he's capable of that. Pretty vague. That is just the beginning and so much more happens, but it's a mystery thriller, so I can't really tell you much more than that other than this book is absolutely amazing. There is a little bit of mixed media. It's not entirely, a good chunk of it is text, but she has capstone project entries in here, as well as interviews, and I would like flip to show you, but I don't want to accidentally spoil something. So yes, it's absolutely amazing. There is a minor romance in here, and I say minor because yes, the two characters interact quite a bit, but it is not the forefront of the plot. It definitely doesn't take it over by any means, so if you like that, it's definitely in here. Definitely slow burn, and it's more friendship than anything. There are like romantic flirty moments, but it's just two people getting to know each other, which is what a relationship is, but it's not like them kissing and constantly thinking like, oh my goodness. It's not like that. It wasn't annoying. That definitely takes a backseat to the main plot. So to talk about what I liked throughout this book without spoiling anyone, I did really like the romance between Pip and the other character. It just was really sweet, and I like how it definitely developed a friendship first, and we got to see the friendship from the very beginning of where they like were relative strangers, and then, you know, they became friends, and then it evolved into something more. I just really loved that. But while Pip is like pretty privileged, she stands up for everyone. I think that is really amazing. She's really supportive, and she calls people out. Pip is just like the person that I try to be on a daily basis without like going in investigating murder cases. But she's really ambitious, and she stands up for what she believes in. If she thinks that you're wrong, she's gonna tell you. She's not afraid. That doesn't mean that she's outwardly like cruel to people, but if people are being offensive, she will call you out for it and tell you that you're wrong and why. And I just like think that is really admirable, and I really loved Pip as a main character. That's another thing, is I have not cared this much about a cast of characters in such a long time, but I was so scared for our characters, and I cared so much about what happened to them, and just like I loved them. I loved them so much, and I cannot wait for the sequel, mostly just because I love Pip, and I can't wait to see like where this goes. This book was really scary for me, but I am a huge wuss, but it was kind of refreshing because, well, this is a young adult mystery thriller. A lot of young adult mystery thrillers as of late haven't really scared me and haven't really been thrilling. I've just kind of been bored by them, and so this one definitely scared me. I was reading this really late at night. I think because I was sleep deprived, I cried, and I would just like cry out of fear a couple of times throughout this book. There were also some really sad moments, and I just think that the author did a really good job of evoking the emotion that she wanted out of the reader, especially like me. So yes, I got hungry. Another thing that I forgot to mention that I really liked about this book was the humor in it. So while it is pretty thrilling and scary at some points, like I said, at least for me, there is a good amount of humor in it, and I just really appreciated that. The characters' banter is so funny to me, and definitely my sense of humor, so loved that. This was such a quick read. I read it in only a couple of sittings, and it's like a 400-page book. But overall, 5 out of 5 stars, absolutely obsessed with it. Okay, now for the spoilery section and just kind of my thoughts while reading and my experience. So this was one that I never really intended on picking up, which is super interesting. Well, not never, but I was really apprehensive too. I wasn't sure that I was going to like it. I don't know. I just got a vibe that like was kind of off-putting to me. And I was like, I don't know, like everybody else likes it, but I don't know that I will be one who does. And I saw it for a decently good deal, and I was like, you know what, I'll pick it up. No harm, no foul. I got it for a good deal. Like, I may as well try it, especially while we're in quarantine. Like, I'm bored. If I hate it, I can set it down and pick up something else, but now is as good a time as any to give it a try. So went ahead, picked it up, and I read like the first 200 pages in one sitting, and it was freaking incredible. I was absolutely obsessed, and then I picked it up and read it in just a couple more sittings and couldn't stop. But I will admit, after the first 200 pages, I was getting really scared anytime that Andy would have to go interview someone new who was like a suspect, and I didn't want her to get hurt because I cared so much about the characters, and I was like, no, I can't do this. And so I flipped to the end and spoiled myself. But what I think was really interesting is that I spoiled myself and then I kind of like forgot, but because I was going to sleep. But before I went to sleep, I was like thinking about it like, oh, like the dad did it, like that's not shocking because I saw Elliot Ward, and I was like, okay, like the dad is part of it, that's not shocking, like I figured. But I was thinking of Andy's dad. And so then I had like a moment of pure terror where I realized that it was Naomi and Kara, I think is her name. Oh, now my dog's sleeping. Sorry about that. But where it was Naomi and Kara's dad, and I was like, he's such a nice guy. He's like her second dad. How could he do this? What? He was Sal's teacher? Are you kidding me? And I just got chills. There were so many times throughout this book where I just had chills all over my body. I have chills all over my body right now. But I had chills all over my body while reading it, and I was like, no, no, this cannot be happening. This cannot be happening. Cannot be happening. It can't. And I had a feeling that Andy wasn't dead, and so when we found her in Elliot's house, I was like, yes, called it, knew she wasn't dead. And my working theory was that she killed Sal and then went into hiding. And then we found out that the girl that was playing as Andy wasn't actually Andy, and I was like, whoa, what? Are you kidding me? I was mind blown, absolutely mind blown. It was crazy. And I just loved the author's ability to play so many tricks on us. I just thought that was dope. And then what else was I feeling while I was reading this? Love Ravi. Love Ravi so much. Ravi and Pip are my new favorite like ship of all time. Yeah, that rhymed. That was cool. Oh, that one rhymed again. Wow. Ravi and Pip, I will die. This is a hill I am willing to die on. Oh my goodness. In love. If they don't get married, I'll have a problem. I just love Ravi so much, and their banter was amazing. Like when Pip met him for the first time and she was like, if I could just have a moment of your time or a few consecutive moments. And then she was like, and then Ravi brought it up after he made her coffee, and she was like, I was like, I feel you. That's something that I would do. Yes. Thank you for being just as awkward as the rest of us. This is amazing. And I loved how willing Ravi was to help, and I was so grateful for him checking his like thing, and I really liked the use of like the Find My Friends app in the book. I thought that was like really good, and I don't know, not only did it make sense, but I also liked that they kept it, especially during the duration, so that he would check on her because he knew like that she was going to investigate, and so he wouldn't like use it as like, oh, I'm controlling and I need to check on her, but he used it as like, she is likely to get herself into trouble and I am concerned, so I'm gonna check where she's at just to make sure she's fine. I have a bad feeling about this, she should be here right now. And then he would go save the day. Like, absolutely love that. Good job, you scared him off. You did it. They're gone, see? Come here. I absolutely love Pip and how considerate she was. She is literally the person that I try to be on a daily basis, and I love that she's not afraid to call people out, like when she was interviewing Stanley for the very first time and she was like, I'm honestly shocked you still have a job. I was like, yes, girl. Yes, yes, yes. That is honestly something that I would say if I was feeling real sassy on a day, but regardless, I definitely would have thought it and maybe have been too scared to say it. Like, that is me. And she was just so funny. Absolutely loved it. I was so shocked that the sister was the one to, I guess, kill Andy. She let her die, but I mean, I don't know that she necessarily killed her, if you know what I mean. And then she hit her in the septic. I was like, what? And then my heart started racing when she gave Pip the tea, and then Pip like passed out and couldn't do anything. I was like, what? No, 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 no. And then Max, oh my goodness, my working theory was that Max raped Naomi, and that's why Naomi was so tense, because that night was really hard for her to think about. That was my theory. But he's still a prick and a horrible human being because he did rape her, or not her, but other people, and for that, like, I hate that so much. But that was my theory, was that Max was a rapist, but he raped Naomi, and her alibi was, her like real alibi was that she was being raped by Max, and that's why like she didn't tell the police or Pip the truth about where she was. I never saw the whole like friends taking Sal's alibi away from him. Did not see that coming at all. That was crazy to me. I just couldn't believe all the twists. And I thought that Elliot Ward was going to turn out to be this like malicious human being, but he was like, while what he did was wrong, 100%, no question about it, he was still like nice, I guess, and felt really bad about what he had done to Andy and Sal. The fact that he slept with one of his students was nasty, but like he was like a kind-hearted, I don't know how to say it, like, you know how in like most thrillers it's like, gotcha, now I'm gonna kill you, like he just felt really bad for what he did, and he was like, yeah, we can have a conversation, like I'm not gonna hurt you, and he was like genuine about that. I wasn't anticipating that. I was really expecting him to be like sinister, which he wasn't, and I appreciated that, because honestly my heart was about to beat out of my chest. I was so mad that the dog died. I thought that that was maybe a little bit unnecessary, as like a plot device. I wish that was done differently, but I also, when reading that, thought that they had killed the dog, not that Becca had taken it and like she had, what's the word I'm looking for, let it go, and then the dog just happened to trip and fall and die. I thought that maybe she had killed it, and I was like, you're kidding. You're literally kidding. Who holds a dog hostage? Like, that is just, who takes a pet from someone? That is horrible. I think that's everything that I have to say. Like I've said, and if it wasn't obvious already, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm absolutely in love with this book, and I cannot wait for the sequel. It comes out April 30th of this year, and I am super excited to read it, especially because it is incorporating a podcast element. If you weren't aware, I'll have it linked below. It's called Good Girls Bad Blood. But yes, 5 out of 5 stars, my new favorite thriller, one of my favorite books of the year so far, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. That's everything for this video. I hope you're all staying safe, staying sane, and I hope you're all doing well reading mentally and otherwise as well. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye guys!